pasasalamat at pagsisikap. Ang pangako na aming bibitiwan sa lahat ng aming natanggap na pagpapala. Pagpupugay sa lahat ng nagbigay ng pagkilala sa Aliw Broadcasting Corporation mula sa Philippine Outstanding Brand of the Year, Philippine Finest Business Awards and Outstanding Achievement, Asia Pacific Luminaire Awards, Southeast Asian Premier Business and Achiever Award. Sa aming mga natanggap, 4-time Best AM Station Awardee, DWIZ 882, 4-time Best Radio Newscaster Awardee, Dennis Antenor Jr., 3-time Best FM Station Awardee, Home Radio 97.9, 2-time Most Promising TV Station Awardee, Aliw Channel 23, at Best Public Service Radio Host Awardee, Bragi Braganza. Pangakong itutuloy ang pagbibigay ng tamang balita at tamang paglilingkod at isang malaking pasasalamat sa tiwalang naibigay sa amin. Pakakasahan yung gagawin naming malaking inspirasyon ito para ipagpatuloy ang maglingkod sa lahat ng Pilipino.
Ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng PAGCOR.
Walang yumayaman sa pagiging empleyado lang. Dapat lahat tayo nagninegosyo. Timing! Narito ang isang programang magbibigay ng tamang gabay sa pagnenegosyo. Pakinggan at panoorin ang mga ekspertong magiging guest dito. Isang show para sa negosyo. DWIZ Negoshow. Kasama sina Lito Gagni at Gerry Urbina. Pakinggan ng live sa DWIZ. Panoorin ng live sa Aliw 23. At i-follow sa lahat ng digital channels ng DWIZ, Facebook, YouTube, at DWIZ News App. Huwag munang magplano, huwag munang sasabak, huwag munang papasok sa negosyo nang hindi napapanood ang show na Negoshow.
Okay, we're back. Ayun.
Wow.
Happy Friday, Tito.
Happy Friday
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We're back.
Yes, and since it's the start of the year,
That's right.
we are,
Providing our listeners and viewers
a perspective on the stock market.
for
Actually,
2025.
our viewers, mga entrepreneurs sila eh.
Correct, yes.
They're all entrepreneurs or
Mga
would-be
negosyante.
entrepreneurs, Mga negosyante.
Yep.
So, we made it the point na for this year, for the first day of the year,
Yes.
we're going to interview somebody from the stock market who can tell us the ins and outs of the...
Correct.
And where could they possibly, make a bit more money.
More money, di ba?
money.
Through investments,
Ay,
di ba?
kasi itong aking partner talagang lagi nananalo sa stock market.
Ikaw yata
Sa
yun,
US,
Tito.
Nvidia, nakabili siya, Tesla.
Swerte lang, Tito. Swerte lang.
Tesla.
Yeah. Anyway, guest po natin today is Mr. Mark Angeles. Siya po ang Head of Equity Research and First Vice President of First Metro Securities. Good afternoon, Mark.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, and thank you
pleasure.
for spending your Friday afternoon with us. Kasi alam namin, napaka-busy ninyo sa First
Napaka-busy.
Metro.
Yeah.
Ang dami nyo mga events, ang dami nyo mga road shows.
Yes.
Yes.
But we find time.
Ayun.
We
Ayun
always
ang-
take one.
Yan,
Take that.
importante
Okay,
yan.
that's good. Wait, before we get started about your market outlook, bit of background first about yourself, di ba? Kwenta mo naman sa mga nakikinig at nanonood.
Oh.
How did you get
Kung single pa, sabi,
to where you are? Yun. Oo, tama. Available pa ba?
ang daming, naku. Anyway, shoot.
Mark.
Well, I'm the first vice president of First Metro Securities.
Okay.
I've been with First Metro Securities since 2010. But
Okay.
before that, I used to do private wealth management.
Okay.
I was working in Zurich for almost 8 years, something like that.
Okay.
But before that, I studied in the U.S.
Yes.
My major is economics.
Okay.
But I do have some minors in accounting, business management.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. O buti pala, bumalik ka dito sa Pilipinas.
Well, it's more fun in the Philippines.
Ayun,
Yan.
tama. That's right, yeah. And I guess there are more opportunities here in the Philippines, di ba? Siguro let's get started kasi you recently released, di ba, yung First Metro Securities.
Yes.
I think in partnership to with DBS Bank of Singapore, di ba? Yung market outlook nyo for 2025. Di ba? Are we looking smooth sailing ba tayo for this year or do we expect a few bumps ahead?
Well, in stock market, nothing is certain. You know that naman, right?
Yes.
But we try to help our clients and our investors how to navigate the market.
Okay.
And for this year, I think this is the first time in 2 years na we're very bullish on the Philippine equities market.
Oh, bullish.
First time in
2 years.
2 years, okay.
Last 2 years, bearish kami.
Okay.
And one of the main reasons we were bearish is because it was inflation, that's one, the rising interest rate environment,
Yes.
and also at the same time, di ba, we were transitioning from a late cycle dynamics in the business cycle into a slowdown.
Okay.
And from that perspective, usually the equity markets do not perform well. Right until the point that the economy has bottomed out, right? And as you see naman, you can see the consumption. It wasn't that great in the last 2 years. It's been slowing down since we reopened from the pandemic.
Okay.
And we think that the consumption has bottomed out already and on the way to recovery. If you saw the Christmas rush during the holiday season,
Yes.
daming pumunta ng mall, di ba?
Grabe yung traffic.
Oh, grabe yung traffic. Nakakainis. But I look at it positively that
Yep.
people are spending again.
Ayun.
And in a way, that's good. I mean, good for the economy.
Yes.
And for us, for the stock market, we see that as a sign that we are transitioning from that slowdown phase going into the recovery, especially with the consumption. So, having said that, it doesn't mean it's gonna go up a straight line. There will be bumps ahead,
Okay.
right? Especially you're in recovery, meaning not everything's smooth sailing. There will be good data, some bad data, but
Okay.
the overall direction is upwards.
Galing, ha?
So yun.
Okay.
So for us, this year, we think it's a good time to enter this market. Especially, the market is cheap.
Go.
And there's a lot of key risk events.
Yes.
For example, we should be out of the gray list.
Oh.
Totoo yan, ha?
Yeah, I mean,
Even with the Bank Secrecy Act,
no, I mean, almost there.
almost
Okay.
there.
But we were not part of it before, di ba? Remember, we were not part of it. We had that
Yes.
bank secrecy before. We were not part of it. We just entered it, a few years back,
Okay.
and now we're exiting again.
Okay.
And the good thing about that is that it will allow more funds to invest in the Philippines.
Wow.
Okay.
Kasi some funds, especially the European funds, can't invest
Because of the
because of that.
Yeah.
Oo.
Internal rules and
Why are you
guidelines
so
prevent
bullish?
them.
Why are you so bullish that we will be able to exit the gray list even with the Bank Secrecy Act is still in,
Well, the Marcos administration has done a lot of things to
I
improve that,
see, I
right?
see.
Okay.
I think the main kicker there is the POGO exit, right? That's one.
Okay.
And I think they've done enough to get us out of that gray list
Ayun.
and allow more investments to come in.
Oh, see?
I see.
So, yan, Tito, hindi na pag-uusapan yan. Yung pag-exit ng Pogo, actually-
so it was the Pogo thing, ha?
It's one of those reasons.
okay.
In my, I think one of the funds that we talked to in Hong Kong mentioned that
Yes.
it's one of the main reasons why you are that great.
Yes, they are hesitant, and now
Yeah.
they are bullish.
I think once we're out of it, they're gonna look at the Philippines. Then they're gonna take a look at the economic fundamentals.
Okay.
And the economic fundamentals are gonna improve. And then you have election pa this year.
Oh,
Usually that is good for consumption. So if you look at it, on the near term, you have elections to boost your consumption. And then you have that tripartite agreement with the US and Japan for
Yes.
the Luzon Economic Corridor.
Yes.
Correct.
They're coming in big, ha?
Yes.
That one is quite nice and quite good for the Philippines just because you open up Metro Manila.
Ayun.
Can you imagine the Philippines is Manila-centric economy-wise?
That's right. Yeah.
50% of the GDP is Metro Manila.
Metro Manila.
That's right.
And you have to open up the other regions. And we're not saying that the LEC or, for example, Clark, right, which is going to be the biggest beneficiary of the LEC, will replace Metro Manila as a CBD. It won't. But it will complement it. Imagine it's just 80 kilometers away. So without traffic, that's less than 1 hour. And with the railway being built, that will lead to shorter travel time. And Clark, if you look at Clark, very viable siya. From the perspective of, how do you say this? There are a lot of barren lands due to lahar, diba?
Yes.
So they can't be used for agriculture.
Yep.
But you can put up buildings there, you can put up infrastructures.
Manufacturing.
Exactly.
Yes.
I see.
And at the same time, it has an airport, it has a port of entry, malapit ka sa Subic for the port of sa sea. And then you have 3 main highways connecting it.
Ayun.
So it has all the elements for a CBD
Okay.
Ayun.
to complement Metro Manila. So you know how the economics of a city works.
Yes.
Right? So when you put up infrastructure, the businesses will put up shops there, and then it will create jobs. People will flock to the city. But like Metro Manila,
Yep.
we have a lot of 10 million in population by nighttime,
Nighttime.
15 million by daytime. Parang
Yes.
ganun.
Yeah.
That's how it works. So hopefully, before this administration ends, they're able to fully implement that LEC.
Again, Mark, kindly indulge lang yung mga listeners and viewers natin right now. Can you explain ano ba tong LEC na to, yung Luzon Economic Corridor?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's mainly infrastructure connecting the ports of the north to the south. So
Yes.
increasing the connectivity within Luzon, right?
Yes.
So that goes all the way to La Union, the Poro Point, and all the
Okay.
way to down to Bicol, right?
Wow.
So ganun siya.
Yes.
And there are a lot of infrastructures that are set to be built.
Yeah.
And
Kasama na dun yung tren.
tren, yung mga ganun.
Yes.
But it's mainly being funded by Japan in the US through a tripartite agreement.
Or tripartite.
OTA funding pa yan, ha?
And then, hindi lang yun. Canada wants to join in.
In the funding.
South Korea, mga ganon. So there are other countries that wants to participate in that. And with the push of the BCDA, di ba, spearheading that, at least from the Clark Pampanga
Yes.
side, right? I think they can make it happen.
Yeah. So, wait, kasama rin ba dito, Mark, sa pautang ng US at Japan para sa LEC, right? At binanggit mo nga, Canada and Korea also want to contribute to the funding. May guarantee rin bang papasok yung mga companies nila to set up shop, to set up manufacturing facilities within the LEC?
Well, there's no guarantee, right?
Okay, no
But
guarantee.
if in place,
Yes.
They will come in.
parang ganun, di ba? You build and they come eh. Parang ganun
That
siya eh.
is it. Have there been overtures made to you as First Metro, no? For the possible entry of investments into, let's say, Luzon Economic Corridor or other areas in the Philippines?
Well, we've been seeing a lot of FDIs already. So it's slowly,
FDIs are foreign direct investments.
Yes,
Okay.
it's slowly coming in. And if you remove some data, I don't recall the data, but Clark is one of the biggest recipients of the FDIs, aside from other zones. So once you have that area in place and you do have all the infrastructures in place, I think it's a chicken and egg problem. So you really have to be the infra. Kasi the businesses, if there's no connectivity, it's very hard to move around.
Yes.
And why do I have to put billions if I can't even move around my goods? Parang ganun siya.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, but we're very bullish on that.
Yeah.
And it opens up Pangasinan, Tarlac,
Yeah.
La Union, di ba?
Yes.
It opens up a lot of things for the Philippines. And thus spreading the economic activity, not just in Metro Manila, but all over the zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ganda.
So exciting times ahead,
Exciting
Tito.
times ahead, yeah.
Yeah.
You're excited, yeah.
So the prospects for 2025 are looking rosy, are looking good. Diba?
Yeah, for the first time in 2 years in our view.
First time in 2 years, ha?
Yeah,
Tito?
first time in 2 years.
Yeah. Wait, Mark.
Yes,
Kaka-elect lang ng bagong presidente sa Estados Unidos.
understood, yes.
Yeah.
Yung tinatawag nilang Trump 2.0.
Yeah, understood, yeah.
Oh. How will this new Trump administration affect the Philippines?
Well, we look at it from three standpoint for now. Kasi there's three policies that being proposed. One is the fiscal side, yung cut in corporate taxes,
Yes.
then the tariffs, and then the immigration.
Okay.
So we analyze it based on the Philippines muna. Okay? The fiscal policy, Trump wants to cut taxes.
Trump wants to cut taxes.
Yeah, corporate taxes.
Corporate
From
taxes.
21% to 20%. And for those reshoring, meaning bringing back business to the US,
Oh, nako.
to 15%.
Wait, hindi ba problema yan para sa atin?
Should be.
Most Americans are offshoring
Yes.
through the Philippines.
Should be a problem, but it's not a problem.
Okay, why?
Because this government has done enough. For example, yung create law.
Create more.
They
Create
create
law.
more. They passed that. So,
Yes.
you now reduce from 25% to 20% sa economic zones. So, meaning, you offset that Trump 21 to 15%.
Ayun.
Offset na yun eh. So, in terms of comparative advantage, it's already, nandun na yun.
Okay.
But at the same time, if you read more on the create more, there's a provision there that says that you can fully deduct 100% of your electricity costs. So in view, the effective tax rate is lower than 20%. And electricity cost is one of the main pushbacks of a lot of
Yes.
investors coming to the Philippines.
11 to 12 pesos per
Oh,
kilo.
kasi we are one of the most expensive,
In the region.
not in globally,
Globally, sorry. Okay.
in
Yes.
terms of electricity.
Yes.
diba?
Yeah.
So, if I can fully deduct that, then it will be good for me as an
Correct.
as an investor putting money in the
Yeah.
Philippines. So that's one. So that's already offset.
Yes.
In terms of tariffs, that could be some sort of a problem because we have a net surplus with the US. Pero mainly on food, fruits, mga ganon, bananas, mangoes.
Sorry, again, for the listeners and viewers, anong ibig sabihin mo ng net surplus with the US?
Means we are exporting more to the US than we're importing from the US.
Okay.
So,
But isn't that good?
Well,
Kasi-
it's not good if you put tariffs on our goods.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, but
Okay.
if you look at it this way, we are not an exporting country naman.
Okay.
We are an importing country.
Okay.
So we import more, we are consumption driven. So meaning if we import more, means that the Filipinos consume more. Ganun siya
Okay.
dapat. Ganun yung equation niya.
Yes.
And for now, there will be some issues with the trade flows. If there's a slowdown, especially China's our biggest trading partner at the moment,
Correct.
right? But then again, we should be less affected than our neighbors just because we are a domestically driven economy. So from that perspective, that's where we're coming from.
Yeah.
In terms of immigration naman, there are 370,000 illegal Filipinos in the US.
Okay.
That's a big number. Kasi if you look at it from the total OFWs, that's around 16%
Yes.
of the 14 million, right?
Big chunk of our remittances.
Yes. Of the 2 million remittances.
Yes.
And then, if you look at the number of Americans, Filipino Americans in the US, 4 million yata siya, so around 8% siya.
Correct.
So, it could have an impact on the remittances side because 40% of the remittances come from the US.
Yeah.
However, I don't think we're the target eh. I think we're,
It's a Mexicans.
I don't want to say. But implementing a full-scale deportation is quite expensive.
Here.
Yes, and we are a strategic ally of the US
Yes.
in the Asia Pacific. We are a very important strategic ally. And I don't think that it will be fully implemented. There will be a risk, but it will not be fully implemented. So from that perspective, the economy seems to be fine, right? I don't think there's an issue for the economy from Trump 2.0.
Yep.
And also, we've been here before, right? 2016.
That's right.
This is Trump's last term. And I sense that he's going to do well in a way that he's going to make a name for himself as somewhat the best president the U.S. ever had, right? Because he cannot run again.
Correct.
So it is his best interest to leave a mark in a good way that
Yep.
he did this for the US and he made US great again. But that's his term, right?
Yeah.
So we're not so worried about it just because we should be somewhat less affected by the Trump 2.0 policies.
Yung tariffs that he's planning to impose on, I think he's targeting Chinese-made
Yes.
goods and products,
Correct.
diba? Don't you foresee na magiging dumping ground yung Pilipinas ng excess products ng China?
Well,
Ngayon, dumping ground na.
we have seen a lot of
Yeah, diba?
Yeah.
Mas mababa ano nila sa atin.
now you have those EV cars, right?
That's
Solar
right.
panels.
Correct, yeah.
So if you wanna put up solar panels right now, it's the best time kasi mura siya ngayon.
Ang
Yes.
mura, bagsakan.
It's good for us because we're consumers eh.
Consumers.
So it's good for the inflation as well because we're buying cheaper goods from China,
Okay.
right? We're buying cheaper goods from China. So that's kind of very good for us in terms of our ability to purchase them.
Okay.
And look at it this way. If I were for example, CREC is one of your solar farms, diba? Renewable energy. Right now, they are trying to expand their power plants.
This is City Core Renewables.
Yes, correct. It's
Okay.
Renewables, right?
Mm.
And right now, yung one cost ng solar panel is this much, now it's down to 80%. And more advanced pa siya.
Okay.
So in terms of project management, the internal rate of return is higher because
Oh.
your costs to procure those solar panels are now cheaper.
Cheaper.
Okay.
So in view of that is that, it will be good for the corporates, it will be good for us because mura eh.
Yep.
As long as quality syempre. Diba? I mean, we have to take into account it has to be quality as
Yeah.
well.
Pero di ba, yan ang big challenge with a
Yes.
lot of Chinese-made goods and products.
Correct.
Substandard, low quality.
Understood.
Di ba?
Yeah.
Madaling masira. Di ba? Nagiging environmental waste. So,
Eventually naman, right, if those products prove to be worthy,
yep.
right? For example, we're seeing BYD
Yes.
sell a lot of cars here.
Correct, yeah. I think they're the number one EV
Now,
manufacturer in the
Correct.
globe.
Yeah, yeah.
Diba? Right now. Surpassing Tesla.
So if they go to if you buy a BYD and you felt like 5 years of the car it was roadworthy, okay lang siya, hindi naman siya nasira, maybe your perception changes moving forward. Ganun lang naman yun eh. It's all about the perception
Perception.
on
yes.
on that product eh, right? So if the product is worth it for you and hindi madaling masira and ganun lang, perhaps that perception will change. I think in terms of solar panels, China is one of the most advanced ones, by the way.
have you made calculations on, let's say, every, $100 million of FDI introduced into the country, what will be its effect on our growth? Kasi ngayon, consumption-driven tayo.
Yes.
Wala tayong FDIs.
Yeah. Again, sorry, sa mga nakikinig at nanonood, yung FDI is
Foreign
foreign
direct
direct investments. Oh.
Yeah, depends. Usually, as an economist, we look at it from a percentage of GDP. Gano'n naman siya, di ba? See, I'm not quite familiar the exact number of our GDP in USD. So, percentage mo na lang yun. For example, you have, I think remittances accounts for, the 30 billion accounts for 10% of GDP.
So, 300.
Yeah, so parang ganon. So, that should correspond to a certain percentage of your GDP. If it's large enough, then it will move your GDP. Ganon lang siya kasimple. But the FDIs naman, you don't look, based on my experience, don't look at it from the face value. You look at it from the long-term gain.
Ayun.
Because those FDIs coming in, if they're used for businesses, it will have multiplier effect. And that will lead to, it will create jobs, it could create a lot of consumption, parang ganon siya. So it has multiplier effect as long as they are put in certain industries. For example, one of the main pushback, when you look at Philippines, in terms of FDI, mababa tayo.
So,
Historically,
Vietnam,
yeah.
10% lang tayo.
Correct.
The reason for that is because Vietnam is manufacturing. It requires more dollars. We are a
I see.
BPO, di ba?
I see.
But the multiplier effect of the BPO is larger because it leads to a lot of Filipino workers with higher disposable income because BPOs do pay higher than your local companies.
And pay higher than manufacturing.
Exactly.
Yes.
So when you're looking at that from that perspective, diba? Sabi mo, BPO, I put up a rental office, the computers, less dollars being put in, but the multiplier effect is much larger than your manufacturing.
These are exciting times. But
Yes.
then,
Yes.
time check. Break po muna tayo. It's 2:25.
DWIZ Negoshow. That time check was brought to you by MX3.
MX3. Tunay, natural, at original.
Magandang araw po sa ating mga biyahero. Malugod po namin kayo tinatanggap sa ating mga paliparan. Sana po maging masaya at makabuluhan ang iyong paglalakbay. Isang paalala lang po, mag-ingat po kayo sa inyong biyahe. Dahil ang mga mahal natin sa buhay ay laging nag-aabang sa ating pag-uwi. Maligayang Pasko po at maligong bagong taon sa inyo pong lahat. Maraming salamat po.
Oras na para malalimang pag-isipan kung sino ang iuupo mo sa susunod na eleksyon. Hatid ng Aliw Broadcasting Corporation ang DWIZ. Iboto ang tama, itama ang boto. Alamin ang mga tamang balita at tamang impormasyon sa Aliw Channel 23, DWIZ News Nationwide, DWIZ News TV, DWIZ News FM Regional Network, Home Radio 97.9 at lahat ng digital channels ng DWIZ, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, X at DWIZ News website. DWIZ, iboto ang tama, itama ang boto. Pilipino, pag-isipan ng tama para sa desisyong tama. Latest, pinakabago at tama. DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
Pilipinas, narito na ang mga tamang balita sa oras na ito. Phase 2 at Phase 3 ng National Fiber Backbone Project ng gobyerno gugulong na ngayong taon. Detalye ng balita mula kay Patrol 13 Gilbert Perdez.
Asahan na ang pagulong ng Phase 2 at Phase 3 ng National Fiber Backbone Plan ng Marcos Administration. Ang proyektong ito na may malaking papel sa broadband ng MASA program ay ang libreng internet service ng pamahalaan sa mga pampublikong lugar sa buong bansa. Sa Bagong Pilipinas ngayon, sinabi ni DICT Assistant Secretary Renato Paraiso na mayroong 6 na phase ang proyektong ito. Ang Phase 1 naman ay nakompleto na raw ng gobyerno, habang ang Phase 2 at Phase 3 sabay na prenukure ng gobyerno at ipatutupad na at inaasahan nilang matatapos daw ito pagsapit ng Marso o Abril ng kasalukuyang taon. Patrol 13, Gilbert Perdes para sa himpilang may totong lahas. DWIZ, nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama.
DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
At sa ibang detalye ng mga balita, kumpiyansa ang mga mambabatas na ang maayos na pamumuno ni House Speaker Martin Romualdez ang dahilan kaya lumakas ang oversight capability ng Kamara. Ayon kay House Senior Deputy Speaker Aurelio Dong Gonzales Jr., nagtakda ng bagong pamantayan ang Kongreso para sa legislative excellence upang masiguro ang pananagutan sa pagpasa ng mga panukalang batas at mga ipinatutupad na programa ng mga ahensya ng gobyerno. Anya, ang oversight function ang magiging pundasyon upang maprotektahan ang interes at tiwala ng taong bayan tungo sa tagumpay ng mababang kapulungan ng Kongreso. Binigyang diin naman ni House Majority Leader Manuel Jose Manix Dalipe na napalawak din ng mga komite sa Kamara ang mga investigasyon, partikular na sa Quad Committee kung saan natukoy ang mga sangkot sa illegal na droga, operasyon ng pogo at extrajudicial killings. Natukoy rin sa ikinasang investigasyon ng House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability ang mga nasa likod ng maling paggamit sa pondo ng bayan. Bukod pa rito, naaksyonan naman ng House Quinta Committee o mas kilala bilang Murang Pagkain Super Committee ang problema sa walang patid na pagsirit ng presyo ng bigas maging sa agricultural smuggling, hoarding, price manipulation, profiteering at iba pa. Nangako ang mga mambabatas na kanilang ipagpapatuloy ang nasimulang mga pangako sa pagbabalik ng 19th Congress.
DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
At yan ang mga tamang balita sa mga oras na ito. Mag-follow at subscribe sa lahat ng DWIZ News digital channels, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, X, DWIZ News App at DWIZ News website. Ako po si Guy Rafael, nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama.
Oras-oras nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama. DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
Ang balitang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Bingo Plus. Download Bingo Plus app now in Google Play and App Store for a chance to win up to 154 million pesos of jackpot prize. Visit bingoplus.com to learn more. With Bingo Plus, bingo sa saya plus sa panalo.
Oras hatid sa inyo ng
Whirlpool Home Appliances that make everyday living so much easier. From washers, dryers, refrigerators, microwave ovens, cooking products, to air cons, air purifiers, and dishwashers. Whirlpool, sensing what matters today, making your world a little easier. Whirlpool.
Oras hatid sa inyo ng
Technogas Technique Kitchen Appliances. Technogas Technique is available in appliance stores nationwide. Furnish your kitchen with Technogas Technique appliances. Technogas Technique, your cooking partner. That's the Technogas Technique.
Oras natin ngayon, alas 2:32 ng hapon.
That time check was brought to you by
Whirlpool Home Appliances that make everyday living so much easier. From washers, dryers, refrigerators, microwave ovens, cooking products, to air cons, air purifiers, and dishwashers. Whirlpool, sensing what matters today, making your world a little easier. Whirlpool.
That time check was brought to you by
Technogas Technique Kitchen Appliances. Technogas Technique is available in appliance stores nationwide. Furnish your kitchen with Technogas Technique appliances. Technogas Technique, your cooking partner. That's the Technogas Technique.
DWIZ Negoshow. Kasama sina Lito Gagni at Gerry Urbina. Negoshow.
Okay, we're back. Yan. And guest natin today, Tito, is Mr. Mark Angeles. Siya po ang Head of Equity Research and First Vice President of First Metro Securities.
Uy, mag-shoutout muna ako. Alam ko si Andoy. Ay, Andoy Beltran.
Yes, Mr.
Thank you.
Andoy Beltran of First Metro Securities. Yes. Wait, Mark.
Yes.
Last year, malaking buzzword, AI, artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence.
How is that going to impact naman the Philippines, particularly yun nga yung BPO sector? Kasi madaming concerned na with this upcoming AI revolution na mawalan ng trabaho yung ating mga kababayan who are working in different call centers and contact centers across the Philippines. Tama ba yun?
Well, the way I see it, it's all about progress,
Okay.
right? There will be jobs that will be eliminated by AI. That's for sure. Especially the low-skilled ones.
Okay.
Hindi mo maiwasan yan. It happened before.
Yes.
And whenever you have technological advantage, improvement like this ones. Diba?
Yes.
But the most important thing that we can do is to upskill.
Upskill.
Diba? Learn how to use AI.
Yeah.
Learn how it works, how we can use it in our everyday lives, especially sa work.
Yes.
And from may mawawalan ng trabaho, may makikreate naman ng trabaho.
Correct.
So it's a matter of those people that will lose their jobs to upskill themselves to be able to be qualified for that new jobs that the AI will create. And that's something that we see moving forward. It's not going to be a minus to the BPO, it's going to be an enhancement.
I see. Wow.
But the enhancement has to, the workers have to be able to know how to do it. So upskill is the key to be able to do that. And then,
So yan ang cue
Yun.
para sa mga employers.
there's a lot of courses.
Embrace AI.
Embrace them.
Yes.
Embrace.
We did a survey of corporates under our coverage.
Okay.
The first Metro.
Yes.
And a lot of them have started to implement AI.
Oh, very good.
Mainly on cost efficiencies.
Okay.
Diba? Improving how they do business.
Yes.
And we think once they implement it, the gains will happen.
Okay.
Hindi siya one time, big time. It's a slow but cumulative siya.
Cumulative
And
growth.
hindi siya one off.
Okay.
And with that having said, right, we do expect the businesses that embrace AI to be more efficient moving forward.
Yep.
Diba? Especially those ones that are inefficient. If they implement AI, the wonders it can do to their business.
Okay.
Parang ganon.
Yeah.
So, cost,
Yan. I think that's very important advice coming from Mark. It's time that we embraced AI.
We should
diba?
embrace it. Yeah.
Mark, can we talk about naman yung strategic opportunities for the Marcos administration,
Yes.
di ba? Let's start with tourism, di ba? Kasi that has always been what they call a strong economic pillar, di ba?
Yeah.
I mean, itong 2025, I mean, what strategies should the Marcos administration adopt? Kasi wait yung tourist numbers kasi natin, di ba, compared to our neighbors,
mababa.
medyo mababa,
Again,
di ba?
against Vietnam na naman.
Against Vietnam, against Thailand, Tito.
Oo.
Thailand, 28 million
Yeah.
diba, in tourist arrivals. So, what can you say about this?
Well, first you have to improve your infrastructure.
Ayun.
The
Okay.
airport is one of the main deterrent for tourists to come here,
Yes.
right? We have nice beaches. We have Boracay,
Beautiful
Palawan.
beaches.
Beautiful, right? One of the best in the world.
Correct. Yeah.
We have that.
Yeah.
The Pesos Week, so dapat turis ang pumunta dito. But if I were a tourist, I have a lot of options like Japan, Korea, Hong Kong giving out buy one get one tickets. Right? So they're trying to
Aggressively attract
aggressive
tourists.
Yes, exactly. And one of the pushbacks that something that we known for so long, that's why the Mactan Airport was supposed to be some sort of a gateway, potential gateway.
Correct.
Because if I want to go to the islands,
Yep.
I don't want to go to Naiya anymore. Because it will kill a lot of my time.
Ayun.
Yes.
Means if I fly to Naiya, then I take a domestic flight, that's like half a day or more than a day
Yep.
or a
Sayang.
day na wala sa bakasyon ko.
Correct. Yeah.
So that has to improve.
Dapat direct flights.
Direct flights or better connectivity from Naiya to the islands in Boracay,
Yes.
in Palawan. We need to do that.
Yes.
And we've done a lot of marketing campaigns for the Philippines, right?
Yep.
We need something somewhat stable,
Yep.
right? Consistent.
Yeah.
Because we have been shifting slogans differently, diba? If you notice.
Every administration, there's a new slogan.
Yeah, we
Oh.
it's Philippines.
Yes.
It has to be consistent.
Yeah.
Diba? Pero the most important here is that fix the infra.
Okay.
And the perception of safety is another.
Yeah.
I think we're one of the worst ranked in terms of safety in ASEAN.
Ayun.
Correct. Yeah.
And we
Pero
need-
perception yun, di ba?
But
It's not really backed by real numbers. It's perception.
yes,
Diba? That survey.
But that
yeah.
perception
Yeah.
is a
Goes a long way.
It's a deterrent.
It's a deterrent,
We have Singaporean clients
Yep.
that we're inviting to go to the Philippines. The number one question, safe. Is it safe to go to the Philippines? So we have to tell it's safe.
Okay.
I mean, Metro Manila is a safe place.
Yes.
I've been living in Metro Manila since 2010, and it's safe unless you go to the shady areas, right?
Correct.
But overall, it's a nice environment, right? But we have to get rid of that.
Yes.
So infrastructure is very important. Connectivity to the tourist spots is very important. We need to open up more tourist spots in Luzon. I mean, we've been marketing Boracay, Palawan. How about the north? Right?
Meron po,
We have,
Lucanja.
we have LU,
Yes.
then
Onion.
and then yung somewhere in the Bay.
Vegan.
Yeah, we have to open
Yeah.
up. And personally, for me, if you ask me, siguro a renovation of the old churches.
Ayun.
A renovation of all church.
Diba, we have 16th century
Cultural
churches.
heritage.
Correct.
ah.
Yes.
They're very old.
Yes.
And they're worth visiting. It's
No, that maganda yung minention mo kasi it's such an unrealized
restore.
Oh.
Not renovate to change. Restore them to their former glory, diba?
Yeah.
Make them safe. Ganun na,
Pwede.
kasi they're very old eh.
Let's make it safe, ano?
Kasi one of my main experience when I was young, there was an earthquake in 1990s.
Yes.
And most of the people I think when I was grade 4 at that time,
Correct.
they ran to the church. But it was a bad idea because the church is old. So, may mga debris na nahulog. So, we need to make it safe. That's important. But
Yeah.
again, we do have that asset. Tama ka.
Yeah.
Yung
Oh,
pilgrimage, right?
Pilgrimage
we can
tours.
do pilgrimage tours here.
Yes.
Especially there's a lot of Catholics globally.
Okay,
Let's
okay,
see that.
Mark. I think the Marcos administration should invite you one day, pick your brain, and then
Correct. Yeah.
so mas maganda.
Yeah.
There will be economic growth all over.
That's right.
I think they have experts already.
Wait. Interest rates naman, Mark. Let's talk about interest
Yes,
rates.
pababa.
Anong advice mo for yung mga borrowers and savers na nanonood at nakikinig today, di ba?
Well, the interest rate should come down.
Okay.
Kasi the BSP has started to cut rates.
Okay.
And they will continue to cut rates. It just depends on the magnitude. It could be 100 bips or 50 bips. So for now, we're looking at 100 bip cut in terms of interest rates. So that will reduce borrowing costs. Ang problema mo dito is that yung mortgages. Kasi there's what you call 1-year fix, 3-year fix, 5-year fix. If you started in 2022, yung mortgage mo mababa pa, and naka 5-year fix ka, you've been enjoying low interest rate environment.
Correct.
By that time na you get to that 5-year ng term loan mo, you have to magbabago yung interest rate mo eh. So tataas siya. So in a way, right now, if you don't need to borrow money, don't borrow for now. Because the interest rates remains elevated. Wait for it to go down. But for those savers, this is a good time to invest in the bonds.
Okay.
Diba? As interest rates come down,
Katsa.
kikita ka eh. Meron kang market gains eh. And then if you want to lock it in, lock it in.
Yep.
But aside from the bonds, you can go for the REITs. By the way, the REITs
It's,
are a very good play for interest rates.
Yun yung real estate investment trust.
Yes. So when the REITs, when interest rates are coming up, the REITs prices have gone down because the yield has to be higher.
Yep.
Kasi it has to be competitive with your risk-free rate. But as the risk-free rate starts to come down, mag-appreciate yung value ng REITs mo, yung price mo. Kasi yung spread mo, interest rate differential, will be the same as well, but it will be at a lower base.
Yes.
And that's something that we're looking into. And then we said that in our 2024 strategy is to focus on REITs. And then yung mga income generating. That played out very well in 2024. But for now, I think focus more sa index. Kasi
Sa index fund.
Index fund.
mga large cap index names, because if it's going to be a rally in terms of tawag dito, flows, or the economy starts to improve and more confidence, the index funds will rally first.
Mark, pag-usapan naman natin yung food security and runaway inflation, di ba? Kasi pataas na pataas yung presyo ng bilihin, di ba?
Kamatis, 240.
Pork, di ba? Nasa 450 a kilo na yan.
Para at least mababa ng sibuyas mo.
Yeah. I mean, anong bang advice mabibigay mo?
Well, it's not advice. I mean, for me, it's all about technological improvement sa mga farmers. You gotta educate them.
Ay, medyo takot sila. Takot.
Oo.
Anyway,
Wait. Yeah, time check muna tayo. It's 2:45.
DWIZ Negoshow.
That time check was brought to you by Bingo Plus. Download Bingo Plus app now in Google Play and App Store for a chance to win up to 154 million pesos of jackpot prize. Visit bingoplus.com to learn more. With Bingo Plus, bingo sa saya plus sa...
Now we are unboxing MX Sweet Coffee. Each box has 10 sachets of low acid and sugar-free coffee. You can have it hot or cold. Bring it with you anytime, anywhere. Shop at Lazada, Shopee, and in leading drugstores nationwide.
Huwag gumamit ng ibang panulat o ballpen. Gumamit lamang po o gamitin ang designated marker sa pag-shade ng inyong balota para siguradong mabilang ang inyong boto.
I-shade ng maayos at buo ang balota para hindi masayang ang inyong boto. Tandaan, ang bawat boto ay mahalaga.
Main Bereto,
Angelo Bainyo.
Paalalang dapat isipin at gawin. Bahagi na. Iboto ang tama. Itama ang boto. DWIZ Election Coverage. Alamin kung bawal o hindi. Dahil kung di mo alam to, kaso ang kakaharapin mo sa NBI. Nako, bawal ito.
Palaging nagpapark ang inyong kapitbahay sa inyong driveway o sa inyong tapat? Nako, bawal ito. Don't block the driveway. Yan ang kadalasang makikita mong nakapaskil o kung minsan nga nakasulat pa gamit ang pintura sa gate ng inyong kapitbahay. Pero paano kung ang inyong driveway ay madalas harangan ni neighbor at nung nakiusap ka, sila pa ang galit at tila gusto pang mang-away? Nako, alam mo bang labag sa batas yan? Ayon sa Section 46, Paragraph F ng Republic Act No. 4136 o ang Land Transportation and Traffic Code, mahigpit na pinagbabawal ang pagparada ng anumang sasakyan na maaring humarang o makaistorbo sa access ng isang private property. Ang sinumang lumabag ay maaaring pagmultahin ng hanggang 2,000 piso. At kung sakaling nakiusap ka naman sa kanila, ngunit patuloy pa rin silang pumaparada, maaari mo silang kasuhan ng paglabag sa Article 287 ng Revised Penal Code o unjust vexation, kung saan sila ay maaaring magmulta o makulong hanggang 30 araw. Kaya kung mayroon kang sariling sasakyan, maghanap ka na lang ng lugar na mapagpaparkingan. Konting hiya naman, hindi yung ikaw pa ang galit kapag sinasabihan. Hindi rin porket maluwag ang pwesto, ikaw na ay mangiistorbo. Baka masabihan ka ng, nako, bawal ito.
Walang yumayaman sa pagiging empleyado lang. Dapat lahat tayo nagninegosyo. Timing! Narito ang isang programang magbibigay ng tamang gabay sa pagnenegosyo. Pakinggan at panoorin ang mga ekspertong magiging guest dito. Isang show para sa negosyo. DWIZ Negoshow. Kasama sina Lito Gagni at Gerry Urbina. Pakinggan ng live sa DWIZ. Panoorin ng live sa Aliw 23 at i-follow sa lahat ng digital channels ng DWIZ, Facebook, YouTube at DWIZ News App. Huwag munang magplano, huwag munang sasabak, huwag munang papasok sa negosyo nang hindi napapanood ang show na Negoshow. DWIZ Negoshow. Kasama sina Lito Gagni at Gerry Urbina. Negoshow.
We're back. Yes. And Mark, yun nga.
Ganda ng tanong dyan.
Ganda ng tanong ko kanina bago tayo mag-break. Yun nga, we're asking you ano bang mapapayo mo sa Marcos administration with regards to food security and runaway inflation.
Well, ayoko nung magsabi ng payo, di ba?
Oo.
Based on my
Correct.
experience.
Yes, yes.
I mean, we do plant in Pangasinan.
Okay.
And one of our challenges is technology.
Yes.
I mean, if you look at our neighbors, they plant more efficiently.
Yes.
Right? Especially the rice, the palay.
Mechanized sila.
Yeah, they're mechanized.
Mechanized.
I think that's something that, and the farmers have not had that education, most of them.
Yep.
And I think when you educate the farmers, they can innovate as well and learn how to farm efficiently.
Yep.
And also focus on the crops that are high yield. rather than the low-yield crops.
Correct.
Usually kasi, one of our, I think, challenges in my hometown, Pangasinan, is that they prefer to plant rice regardless because that's what they know.
No.
Basics eh.
Yeah, they don't know how to plant the other crops because they need to learn how to plant the other crops. And those are challenges. And I guess in terms of food security, we do have imports, right?
Yes.
One of the main challenges kasi in the Philippines is we are an island. And then we absorb a lot of the typhoons coming from the Pacific.
Yep.
So it's very hard to predict the weather, unpredictable. And when it comes to planting and farming, that's your number one uncertainty.
Yep.
So being technologically adapt to it, and also knowing, diba, what crops to plant during the season and yung high yielding one, learning other crops as well,
Yep.
will provide better food security for the Philippines, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. How about for the energy sector naman?
Oh, yeah.
Kasi critical na
Problem.
sector, di ba? Kanina binanggit mo nga,
Correct.
one of the most expensive
Globally.
electricity rates globally.
Yes.
I mean, what are the key moves that the government should make
Well, they're
to
pushing for
ensure stable?
renewables.
Okay.
So that's a step. But the problem is they need to upgrade the NGCP lines, the transmission lines, because they're very old.
Cool. Yes.
And then, based on what we heard from those solar producers, di ba? Unlike a coal plant na the electricity produced is constant.
Yes,
Sa solar, hindi eh.
Wow.
There will be ups and downs eh.
that's right.
And also, same as wind. Di ba? At night, the generations much faster
Correct.
than in the morning. So, our current NGCP lines needs to be updated or upgraded in
To
order
accommodate.
to accommodate renewables.
Yes.
And at the same time, expand the transmission lines. One of the main challenges of, for example, power plants that doing renewables is that there's no NGCP lines that they can connect to. They have to build their own first. Then the NGCP reimburse them, right? That's how it works at the moment.
Okay.
For example, if you look at the strip all the way to Lawag,
Yes.
the NGCP owned transmission lines ends in Lawag.
Okay.
And the the transmission lines that goes all the way to the wind farms up in the north are built by those companies that operate. And in view that the NGCP lines will purchase it from them. So parang rather make it easy for those power companies to put up the plants.
Yeah.
Diba? Provide them the NGCP lines, upgraded them. Parang ganon. And then wind is, I think, the way to go. Because you mentioned food security. It requires a lot of land to put up to solar plants.
Solar panels.
Oo.
It's eating up into our agricultural.
Yes. So that's one. So you need to have a mix of wind and at the same time,
Dapat
Solar.
nuclear eh, no?
whether nuclear, but
Nuclear, yes.
with the batteries coming in, diba, the
Hindi na kailangan.
when they become cheaper, right, you can store energy.
Correct.
Oh,
During times na mataas yung output ng araw,
Yes.
and also yung wind output mo, which when it's larger than usual, you can store that to have consistent energy that you feed to the grid. Parang ganun.
Ganda.
So there are wind farms that being put up.
Okay.
I'm seeing some projects along Bataan, hopefully being done. Diba? Up north, meron ka sa Rizal. And I'm pretty much amazed on how they operate. And technology is getting better and better. So, more energy output for cheaper price, parang ganon. So, that is the way to go. Actually kasi, we see carbon taxing to happen.
Okay.
Especially what's happening the climate. You can see the climate change impacting us.
Yes.
So the coal power plants will be there, but they will be reduced to a certain number.
Okay.
And carbon taxing is coming maybe not in the next 5 years, maybe next 10 years. Diba? If we are ready and with the influx of renewables, then we may be ready for a carbon taxing soon. And that would be good revenue for the government, by the way.
Oh, tama. Oh. They will be earning.
And then good for the environment at the same time.
Correct.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Doon sa carbon tax, can they sell abroad? No.
I think they can, but we'll I have to double check. But it's one of the main reasons why a lot of the power plants, a lot of the power companies are doing low PEs in the region. It's because of the threat of carbon taxing. It is being done in US, being done in Europe as well, and eventually it will go to Asia.
Oh, so we have so many things going pala for the Philippines.
Yes, we do.
That's why you're so, bullish.
Well, this year we are. We think it's a new cycle talaga. Well, and parang yung growth mo is clear. As I mentioned, going back to that clear. We have the recovery. We're seeing rebound in consumption.
Yep.
May election ka which to jumpstart your recovery.
Correct.
And then you have the LEC to anchor long-term growth. So parang, if you look at it, there's a clear growth prospect in place.
And multiple.
Yes.
Dito.
Ganda, oh.
Madaming choices.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, wait. Before we wrap up today's show, for someone new to the stock market, it's 2025. I mean, what one piece of advice could you give them to start investing wisely?
Well, the first lesson you have to learn is you need to pay tuition fee. That's for sure.
Okay. Pay your tuition fee.
Meaning, in the stock market, the more experience you have, the better you are.
Okay.
Ganun lang siya.
Yeah.
So,
Read and learn.
read and learn, and then you experience it.
Okay.
Don't take any loss as a way to dishearten yourself and not be invested anymore.
Yep.
Ganun lang siya. Parang you learn from your mistakes eh. Ang boss ko sa akin, minsan sinasabihan ako eh. Si Mark celebrates his. Parang nag-stick sa kanya yung kanyang losses rather than yung wins niya. Because I want to remember why ako nagkamali.
Correct.
So I don't repeat it again. So that's something that I always consciously do when investing in stock market. And another thing is that the younger you are, the better. In meaning, you can make mistakes.
Yep.
You can make mistakes while you're young because you have years ahead of you.
Yes.
But when you're like me or you're in your 50s, ganon, you have to be more conservative na eh.
Correct.
Because it's all about asset preservation.
Yeah.
So, if I were like in my early 20s right now, I'll be buying this market aggressively. Di ba? Every time bumaba, bibili na akong bibili. Because if I make a mistake, I have the whole, 30 or 40 years to wait for
My life ahead of you. Wow, tama.
So that's how you look at it.
Correct.
If time is on your side, you aggressively invest.
Yep.
If time is not on your side, then you have to pick your investments. You have to mix it with some risk, mix it with income generating like bonds and REITs, parang ganon, or real estate. You have to mix it up. And that's my advice to newbies that coming in.
Yeah.
But investing is the way to go. It's either stock market, bonds, or crypto, whatever investment or property.
Yeah.
You always need to invest it. Hindi pwedeng hindi eh. You can't get rich by just working your 9-to-5 job. You need you need to plan for your future. Parang ganun. In First Metro Securities, we do have a lot of that. Your friend Andoy does a lot of stock market education and investing education.
Yep.
You can access that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ganda. Ang galing.
Yeah. Well,
Dapat may second.
oo nga eh. Mark, kulang na naman tayo ng oras.
Oo nga, parang feeling ko marami ka bang questions.
Madami pa talagang
Marami pang
questions.
question, no?
Madami talagang questions, pero naubusan na tayo ng oras. Well, thank you so much again for spending your Friday with us. And we hope to have you back.
Sure.
Diba?
Looking forward for the next talk with you guys.
Talagang, I think, exciting yung
Galing,
prospects
ganda.
para sa Team Pilipinas dito this 2025, diba? There's a lot of opportunities.
Hindi mo na tanong kanina kung single siya o...
Oh, tama, hindi niya sinagot ito. Tinanong mo. Hindi niya sinagot.
Pwede bang no comment na lang?
No comment. All right. Okay.
On that note, yeah.
Yan.
Goodbye.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Our next program is Senyor Balita with
With Daryl Lustin, yung babaero.
Thank you.
Walang yumayaman sa pagiging empleyado lang. Dapat lahat tayo nagninegosyo. Timing. Narito ang isang